Hi,
Hello.
everyone. My name is Bruce, and today we are with Khy for our Khy's Musings, 21FEB26. Khy, how have you been going, man? How's life treating you?
It's been pretty good actually. I mean, work's been stressful, but that's not a problem. But been having fun gaming.
Okay, this is weird because I've never heard you have that. This is usually you're the guy between campaigns. Like, I'm the forever DM. I never get to play in a game. I never get to really have fun. I don't get to push
Yeah,
systems in the way I want to. And all of a sudden, we've been talking about the pre stream, and I was like, just listening to you talk. I'm like, holy shit! If nobody records these, it never happened. Guy, we got to start now.
yeah. Well, I mean, on hey there, how you doing? Been pretty good actually. But no, when we get to have a regular game of BattleTech, and the thing is that everyone who's in the BattleTech group, we're all actually in it. Like we know the lore.
Mm-hmm.
We And the thing is, we're not like we're serious enough that we know the lore, we know the story beats, but we're still beer and pretzels enough to be able to just throw a scenario together real quick. And there's cheese, yes, because the game is cheese, but
Can't
people are picking out shit to just pick out things. So it's like, what's the theme for next week? And somebody will go, pick a year, pick a faction, and suddenly it becomes, all right, okay, so what combination can I? It isn't trying to make the optimal group. It's just simply making a thematic group. And if we fail, no one gets angry because it's like no one gets butt hurt, no one gets pissy about it. It's just simply, well, shit. Gauss rifle rounds do that, or you know, that is a heavy mech that's got an axe, and it was on triple strength Myanmar. It was fired up, and that was totally fucking badass. That he just jumped in behind him and then cut the mech in half. That was cool. Or I did blow the legs off that guy, and he is just crawling around like like the Black Knight saying, I can still fight," and he's we're having stupid shit like that happening. Um, we're having a lot of fun. We make dumb mistakes. Nobody's playing serious. Everyone's having fun, and we're making constant jokes for the 3 hours we're playing each week. And it's refreshing. And the fact that we're getting to the point where we can just throw together whatever we want and have a good game in theme, and that's the best part. It's themed. Nobody's white rooming this shit. Nobody's picking the optimal faction because, well, let's be honest. Last week we were playing St. Ives Compact versus the Capellan Confederation. Capellan Confederation whooped our asses because the guy who was playing the Capellan Confederation was really good, and he got some really good lucky things. But it wasn't always pure luck, and it wasn't like there was a lot of good, silly fun happening. And the fact that we can do that is refreshing and amazingly awesome, and it's just been a great time. And because we just make all the best jokes, it is perfect.
I gotta read this
And
aloud. This is hilarious. I picture Kai sitting there with Elvis, Sasquatch, DB Cooper, and they're all playing BattleTech. No
no
cameras,
cameras.
just good times.
God, yeah. Well, that's how it should be, and it's perfect, and we love it. Now, but the thing is, at the same time, we've been trying to get a D&D game with a different group of friends up and off the ground, and well, it's never going to get off the ground because um, we work too much. We're adults, and it's online gaming,
Oh,
and
God, I feel this.
and we the thing is we're all we're great writers. We actually write stuff that we bounce ideas for stories and cool ideas and characters and witty banter and fun little things, and they're little vignettes, and they're great. But what would it be if we actually got a chance to play the game properly again as a group of friends? And well, none of us have Um, Most of us have office jobs or miserable jobs where we have inconsistent schedules. So yeah, no, we spend more time talking about it. Well, anyway, that group of friends all decided to go play an online game together, and we're all just having a lot of fun. Now the thing is that we throw stupid ideas at each other because like we're really big like we were really like everyone there's a big we're all big fans of Star Wars, and we all big fans of D6 Star Wars. We're all West End gamers, West End Games players, and it's hilarious because everyone started talking about Star Wars one day, and because like we all got together as writers, then we all started like talking, and then we all realized, oh wait, we're all West End game fans. It was accidental and it was fantastic. And then we were like, let's go play a Star Wars game. I wrote this beautiful treatise of like, okay, so the game is going to be set in legitimately the last minutes, but the last month, like months before before the Clone Wars start, because I wanted to ask the important question of how the fuck do you hide a fleet being built? Where does a navy appear in Attack of the Clones? But I realized that I'm a navy nerd. I'm an industrialist, a logistics dork who cares about this shit. Everybody else was all too busy wanting to play a bunch of really good people playing Jedi in the last moments of the Republic before the war starts, and they're all having fun, fighting underworld shit and all this other stuff, and I'm like, but there's a plot line. It's important. It's over here. No, we are going to do exactly what the Jedi did and ignore it. And I'm like, literally, you could see it happening. If you just look out the right side of your ship, you'll see it happening. No, we're looking out the other side of the ship today. We're busy. We're ignoring it. And I'm like, I hate all of you. And they go, we know. And it was a fun experience. Now, I was trying to explain that, so when I was like, we'll play D&D and Pathfinder, and like, yeah, we're pretty good at that, and started figuring out cool characters and ideas and figure out things. The game will never happen. And then I'm trying to explain to them how Mage the Ascension and Ars Magica works, because they're like, oh, we know magic, because like, D&D magic, and I'm like, no, play Mage, play Ars Magica, play Exalted. And they're like, well, how would Exalted combat work? I'm like, let me explain it to you like this. And we started explaining that, how the paranoia build, the paranoia combo chain works, and how you can expand it out to be a one-man army standing in front of a legion of 1,000 demons, and be pretty sure you could take all 1,000 on by yourself. And they're like, explain how to start explaining them, working through the system and the chart, and they went, holy crap, you could be a one-man wall. Like, you just draw a line in the sand and say, none shall pass, and by the end of the day, everyone will be dead, and you'll have some like nicks on you. And I'm like, yep. And that's not even a hard build. That's just a solid build. Now you can build cooler characters from there. Like, this could be fun. I'm like, yeah, it can be fun, but we'll never play it. And it was a blast because we're having fun talking and building and having cool things. We're not bitching or arguing about what about how make thing do. And I'm like, I don't care. What's the genre we want? How are we going to play it? Okay, this cool. We're going to go for, bam. This is what we're going to go for, man. And one was like, I want to play a time traveling badass who actually every time I die, another clone of my character comes into existence. So you want to die a lot? Like, not a lot. I don't have infinite clones. And I'm like, that's hilarious. And like, yeah, this is a fun time. And now that we're playing an online game, we suddenly find out that we're all actually a bunch of Borderlands franchise players. And so suddenly we're all like making a bunch of Borderlands jokes, and suddenly I'm going, why? Now, if you see my Musings channel, you know that I'm kind of, yes, I am a Navy nerd. I am the space nerd. I want to do, like, I run a game within the lines of like a Starfire or Honor Harrington or just a 4X or just Traveler in general. And I want to have fun doing that. But the thing is that I want a system that is more energetic. And because Traveler is a fantastic, beautiful game, I love it to death, but it is the slowest progression system I've ever endured.
What game is
And
that?
it's one of those games, yeah,
Traveler?
yeah,
Traveler's the slowest.
it is. It You get one chance level of skill, and it's a dice roll. It's a chance at development every 4 weeks. That's a long time. And games might and if your adventures are run by the day, it might be months before you get another chance to roll. Well, you jump a lot. You'll make up that time through jump space. In case there's a jump mishap or there's a problem and complications occur. And there's other it's a beautiful game. I love it. So, but if I'm going to run the game that I want to run, I kind of realize that I need a more energetic, more flexible, and not so the character you made at the start of the game is going to be what you're playing at the end of the campaign. Because in Traveler, you're gonna 2 or 3 skills might go up by the end of the campaign, but the character you have at the start is the character you're going to play. Better get lucky, accept what you're going to play because you're not going to improve. Well, I kind of want more improvement. That's the one thing that I feel that the game could probably do better with. And now the question is how to do that, and that's what I've been racking my brain. Now, I could go on for hours on how to run the space campaign in my head and figure out how tech levels, how progressing through tech, how the economy works, how ship designing works, how the combat would function, how distances and travel times will work, and all of that. Sorry. All of that I can work and talk about. The problem is that the scale of gaming that I would like to run for it still has to have that personal level to it, because I don't like how when we play like a Twilight Imperium game or a Starfire campaign or any of these big grand empire builders, the people don't do it. Like, they don't exist. There's part of me that wants to still have that that granular feel, that somewhere at the heart of all of this, there's still a person who's making these choices, and that person exists. They aren't just a nebulous +1 to a stat, to the Imperial stat roll. Ultimately, it doesn't. I mean, these people don't matter, but there's that point where you might have somebody who makes the an assassin bullet happens. It might be President Santiago on a ship transiting across the star system, and then his ship blows up and he's killed that way. Use Babylon 5 for an example. Or there's an honor duel, use Honor Harrington for an example. There's honor duels in that universe. Or to use Dune as an example, fucking House Atreides gets wiped out. There's always that sense of you have an empire, and I want to have. There's still something that, when it gets down to the personal level, you still need to write. Like, you still need to eat, sleep, be protected, and travel somewhere. And since the setting that I was creating doesn't have FTL, I want to stay away from FTL. Transmission, like, there's no real time faster than light communications. There's no real time faster than light sensors. So there's no way to see into the future and talk and have someone immediately respond. So I want to still have that. No, there's still a time delay. And so you're going to still have to need people. You're still going to need the X-boat, to use traveler terms. The X-boat still exists. The idea that you need somebody to just go and deliver the mail and make that, and that's how communications are done. Yeah, I'm going to steal a little bit from BattleTech, and the HPG network does work, but the HPG in BattleTech also has limitations. You have a long charging time. You have a set number of. It's a one-way communication. The speed on which it's transmit. Yes, it's FTL. Yes, it's 60 light years of communication. Of distance, but it's a one-way data packet burst. And there's no way to get a response back until the other guy on the other side responds, decrypts, writes the email or records the video, puts it in the upload device, and then sends it back. So you're not going to be able to go, Bob, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Sam? And then you have a real-time conversation. There's none of that shit. So it's going to take time and lag and communications. It's telegram or videograms. And I kind of like that. But I also like the fact that you can't just see across space with Star Trek vision. I hate Star Trek sensors. I hate the idea that you can get real-time visuals on what's happening 20 light years away. Somehow you can see into the future and come back in real time. And there's no lag, no delay. No, because one of the big things I would, like I said, I could talk about this to an insane amount of detail because that's what I've been working on. I want the setting that if I was to ever publish it to be a solid, flexible way, and to address enough things so that way, in case you have the Trek nerd who shows up and goes, just so you know, warp drive is the bestest thing, and I know it's not. Impulse drive is no, it's not. And be able to shut down the people who are like, but I think the Star Wars, and shut up, no, it's not, and shut down a lot of things so that way it's a nice, unified, flexible system that would give players the ability to, if they so chose, to create their own nation state that has its own cool things, that has its own history and designs its own ships, so that way you can have whatever the fuck you want and play and design, and then have it evolve and then collapse or do cool things. But the thing is that I still wanted to, but because all of this is on this cool grand scale, people still live there. And ultimately I want to tell the stories of the people who live in these monstrous empires, but I don't want it to just simply be so GM hand-waved where the GM can just go, it just happens because this. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. And I know I'm taking some of the magic away because you can actually go into the gears and go, why does it work that way? And then figure out, go, oh, okay, I understand now what's going on. But because of that, I want to have that point where I want to have that border. Okay, yeah, no FTL. I do have FTL, so the ability to go hyperspace, to travel FTL does exist, but there's no FTL communicate. There's no. So okay, so all right. When it comes to hailing frequencies, you have to deal with the fact that you have the light delay. So if you're communicating in real space with other people, so you're not aiming a hyperdimensional laser at something for a one-way communication. So you're just using radio or tight beam laser communications. It's light speed communication. So if the guy is five light seconds away, you transmit. You gotta wait 5 seconds. he gets it. He has to sit there, read your 30-second hail, and then he gets to respond, and then you get to see this delay happen where it's like suddenly now 20, 30, 60 seconds of delay. It's like they're 1 light minute out. Well, that is a minute of delay. Your sensors are also light speed limited, so yeah, you can shoot them, but you're only seeing technically what was there technically 2 minutes ago, because you send out 1 minute out, 1 minute back. You're trying to predict where they're going to be where they were 2 minutes ago. Technically 3, because if you fire a laser, so it's signal out, signal back, shoot laser, and hope to God your computer can predict where they are 3 minutes later. Which is the reason why space combat gets short range, because I don't want to. My computer cannot predict where they're going to be in 3 minutes, and so you can see how this will work. And yeah, I've been working on this, but since nobody really fires lasers. Well, some people fire lasers because I want to give the flexibility of people can go lasers or missiles, but missiles don't travel faster than light. Don't travel at FTL speeds or even at light speeds, so they're traveling at like what 1/3 the speed of light. It's like okay, so they go 0.33 c. So you're looking at 1 light minute out. Missile fires takes 3 minutes to cross 1 light minute. And you're sitting here going, I hope to God they're actually there in 5 minutes. So you want to close to maybe like 10 light seconds to 5 light seconds. So that way you can actually have some kind of telemetry coming in from your sensors. And then when you can fight and actually have combat have a relatively good chance to. So unless you're fighting somebody who's just, I'm going on a slow boat very, very quietly in a straight line here, you're shooting that guy. Well, congratulations. That's just that's just torpedoes being fired in World War II. Like, psh, you're just firing that shit. And yeah, it is kind of like how we have a 3-minute, 20-minute delay to Mars. And the idea is that it makes a solar system big but small. Like, it's small enough that, because I kind of want to have like the expanse. Because yeah, I know that people are like, well, technically, impulse drive, if you're playing Star Trek, can get you up to the speed of light. Yes, I understand that, because it's technically a Newtonian engine and you have inertial dampers. But for the most part, you're stopping at about 0.2, 0.3 C off of the impulse drive at max. It's not borderline warp 1. It's not. Unless you got a really shitty writer. But technically, if you're looking at like Scotty's Guide to the Enterprise or the Next Generation technical manual, those two are both sitting in that. Yeah, you could, if you burn long enough in a straight enough line. Well, at that point, you can go, well, okay, so can say the fast travel drive from the Expanse. Well, it allows you to burn at like 8, 9 G's of 8, 9, 10 G's of thrust if you know how to put yourself in a crash chair and put yourself under the juice. You can go really, really fast. Battletech is the same way, where most ships are traveling at under 1 G. 1 G is fast, actually, but suddenly if you want to go into military speed, military thrusts, or where the crew is under a sustained amount of pain and suffering, you can put them under 2, 3, 4, 5 days of 3, 4 G's of acceleration, and then do the flip decel burn. The maneuver drive in Traveler is kind of similar, but not really, because you start getting into gravitics at that point. And you have, Babylon 5 shows that, okay, most of their ships are traveling under about 1 G of thrust for the Earth Force warships, so they can go a little bit faster, but not really. But in a straight line, boy, can they book. But again, they have the ability to do the straight line burn, twist, and burn, flip, and decel burn. And you have a lot of ways to be able to do this. Trek gets around a lot of this problem by having the inertial compensator. Well, the inertial compensator is cool and shit, but it's not really that fast. Then doing the math and finding out that actually warp 6 in Trek is about a jump 3 it's about as fast as a traveler jump 3 drive. So so you can jump 3 parsecs, and when you come out of hyperspace at about low end warp 6, the Federation ship shows up at the same time. And you're like, okay, so warp really isn't that bad. And you start getting to, okay, so if you have the J6, J7s that are able to go super fast, and those are super rare high tech ships, they're about into the low warp 9. Well, the thing is that that's warp 9 for an entire week. Well, we know from Star Trek that no Trek ship can go warp 9 for that fast. And suddenly you're sitting at going, oh, okay. So if a Federation ship wants to go burn low warp 9 for a grand total of 7 days, it's probably going to arrive in a uncomfortable state, and it will arrive just in time to see the X boat come out of hyperspace and come out of jump space. And you're like going, oh, okay, so that's actually not that bad. But since I'm taking away the ability to see into the future, Trek's magic ability to have sensors that can see into the warp and see light years ahead so you can plan your routes. Well, at this point, you get the ability to put into the game the need to plot your jumps, which is the same thing that Traveler has, the same thing that Battletech has, that Star Wars is supposed to have, and the same thing that you get in the Honor Harrington verse, in the Honor Harrington universe, and all these other universes and now you understand why. Okay, so the Navigators in Dune. Well, the only reason why the Navigators can do what they do is because they do the exact same thing that a jump engine does, but they're able to use magic warp powers to see where they're going. Well, okay, so now you have the ability to go. The Trek ship can plot its course and do what everyone else does, and bam, okay, cool. I've now made a functional hyperspace system that allows anyone to go, I want to have whatever I want for whatever system that I want to have for my idea of what FTL looks like in that setting. And I can go, yeah, somebody in that universe probably came up with it and said yes, because that's what I kind of want, is the idea that it's a because the setting that I was writing is a post diaspora idea for humanity, that we've been in space long enough that people have just come up with things, and they all come to the same conclusion. Okay, you can get A from point A to point B. Again, like I said, but when it comes to character creation, though, I kind of want a life path system, because I don't like the idea of playing level 1. That, congratulations, you're level 1 character. Bleh. This is the only way you can play the game. Level 1. And I'm like, no, because this is not a universe in my head that is a static universe that's waiting for the chosen one to arrive. This is a universe full of people, billions and trillions of people living on thousands of worlds, and it's been around so long that it doesn't fucking matter at this point. You can be whoever you want to be. You can play whoever you want to be. And I kind of want to have that ability of, if you want to play a grizzled 46-year-old asshole who's managed to somehow survive the universe beating you senseless, you can play that character. If you want to play the old man who's a captain of a major ship, go right ahead. If you want to play a young buck who's just utterly amazing, go right ahead. I want to give the players a chance to play what they want, but because I also want to have flexibility, and I know this is depending on the tech level of the area, because I do like the skill slot ability that comes out of that Traveler has skill slots, that you can buy skill slots in Cyberpunk, or you can do it in Shadowrun. That this concept was part of cassette futurism. I mean, hell, the Matrix had it. And the idea that you could slot yourself with more skills. So therefore, well, why can't you just slot in and out. And at that point, that's kind of an altered carbon slash eclipse phase universe type things where this is kind of post, like, if you're looking at TL10, TL12, TL14, TL15 and 16, you're starting to get to the point where the the line between human and machine has been blurred to the point where you can do custom biology, you can do custom cybernetics. It's like this isn't just being chromed out, really isn't that spectacular. Getting new organs, life extension therapy, and since in the universe that I was envisioning in my head, this is an old enough universe where the high tech levels are not universal because parts of the world come and fall, and different parts of the galaxy are functional, and because of pirates you don't have a supply chain to maintain things, and the super high tech stuff is really hard to maintain, but the places that have it are fantastic. But you're not going to have that everywhere, and you're going to have a lot of worlds where what we have today, because honestly, look at today, we're running into the problem that I can't buy RAM because the RAM is only produced in 5 places on the planet, and only one place can build it, can build the machines to build the machines that we can use in everything. And that is highlighting the idea of, if one place in Europe was to have a problem, suddenly Taiwan's not building chips, we're not building chips, China's not building chips, Japan's not building chips, because one place in Belgium has a problem. And that highlights the idea that, well, things can fall apart really fucking fast. The fact that we're having problems getting RAM, and that NVIDIA and AMD are like going, we're going to put out 5-6 year old graphics cards using old technology because we can't afford to put new stuff in anything, kind of shows the idea that you can have high tech and then increase and decline at the same time. And it proved that, okay, I can actually run this idea of a galaxy setting where you have a ship of wonder, something that was built by the ancients. It can never be replaced. Some monolith that jumps in every once in a while on a set course, on a set path that goes up and down a galactic arm, 6 months one way, then 6 months back the other way, and does this loop, and it being like, I guess, an entire campaign around the idea of just being part of this monstrous merchant caravan convoy that just goes on this grand loop up and down one arm of the galaxy, and every week it's a new system. 28 jumps one direction, 28 jumps in the other, so 56 different systems once a week jumping, and watching people come in and out, trading with this monstrous thing that can never be recreated, and just having a story around this grand golden caravan that's traveling with stars. I could tell that story. I could do it right now in Traveler pretty fucking easy. This isn't a hard story. I can do this, but these are the kind of things I want to work with. And yes, I know that one. And I was like, I want to have the room for players to have these without having to be locked dead into the Traveler setting, or into BattleTech, or into Star Wars, or into... I want to have the idea that the galaxy is a big place, and it's not Star Wars where the galaxy is dinky as fuck these days, because nobody can comprehend the idea that you can't travel the entire galaxy in a week. I'm sorry, I hate that. I fucking don't. Now, mind you, I did put in the work that I was putting together for all of this, the idea of the hyperspace lane, you know, of the hyperspace roads. The idea that if you know a well-traveled path that's been traveled a lot by ships, ships go faster in a well-traveled lane that's been well documented. So you can get higher speeds, so you can get across the galaxy faster if you stay in the lanes. But if you go off the beaten path, what most Traveler players do, or most Rebels do, or I'm off exploring the unknown, well, shit slows down because you got to figure out where the fuck you're going. And yeah,
Tales we're gonna play Tales from a Floating Vagabond.
Yes, and that would be a great game, I think, because it would be interesting because you get to see it. Now, mind you, as a GM, it would be you having to come up with 56 different different interesting systems that you're going to be jumping to. But then again, you're part of a massive caravan that's traveling far greater than anywhere else can go. So that maybe these are just regions where you get to only see it once, one new system a week. But for the regions that you're jumping to, this is a super. This is a giant container ship arriving and watching a fleet of lighters and other people racing in to trade with it, because it's only going to be there long enough for its jump engine to recharge. And since the idea of its Traveler, it's a week, so it's sitting there for a week, recharging, refueling, trading with everybody, and you watch people coming in and around, and the idea that I kind of want to steal the idea that when I was figuring out this idea for a ship, I was kind of actually stealing from Heavy Gear with the idea of it being a gate ship, because the gate ship which is definitely in line with, like, say, an Eve Online with its motherships, or Heavy Gear with the gate ship, or Babylon 5 with a jump gate armed equipped ship, was the idea that the ship itself is what is creating the wormhole / jump drive that will take the rest of the fleet with it. It's the mothership. And so you're watching in, like, the last moments of, as the ship is getting ready to make its jump, you're watching ships being guided into their spots in the information around the mothership before it makes its next jump. So you're seeing people making last minute trades back and forth, and you get to have that fun sense of players having adventures off, during the week of recharge and trade, going off to, like, nearby planets, nearby areas to trade, but knowing that you only got 7 days. And if you're not back, the ship leaves. It doesn't care about you. You're just, you're a tag along. It doesn't give a shit. It's moving. And so you have that impending doom that hanging over the players, that whatever you do, be back here on this day, and it leaves. Or if it leaves, you won't have your ride home for another year. You got to figure out how to survive a year before that ship returns. And the thing is, by saying it's the bigger, more powerful super capital ship, maybe it jumps further than everybody else can jump. And so, because it's jumping, rather than just little itty bitty 30 light year jumps, 10, 20, 30 light year jumps, it's doing entire galactic arms. So it's doing hundreds of light years at a time. So you're never going to catch up to it. So you're kind of stranded in whatever sector you get left in. Or maybe you just choose that this is the sector we want to be in. It's a great way to introduce, here's a new sector, here's a new area, here's a new culture, here's new people. Do you want to be part of this? And at any point, the players can choose to leave the caravan and go, this is my new home. I'm going to stay here. We'll see you in a year. And now the party gets to, plant down roots, say this is where they're going to be, and then a year from now, the ship, the trade fleet arrives. And then you just go and you know it. You know what day it arrives. You know its schedule, and you could go up there, and now you're the merchant who's showing up there trying to peddle your wares and seeing who has who what and what can go where. And it would be an interesting story to tell, an interesting campaign to run, but it would be a different kind of game from what most players would want to do. But the thing is this is the options I can provide by putting in the homework ahead of time. If I know if I know the limitations of, say, a Stargate network has, or a Jump Drive network, wormholes, jump points, Babylon 5-star style jump points. If I know how all of that shit works ahead of time, I can make a consistent, good feeling experience that isn't trash, and it allows you to tell a coherent game that would be hopefully fun to play. But I still need to find a way to make it interesting to run for the people who are actually players. And that means make the guns interesting, make the armor interesting, make the character suits or armor actually interesting, make the classes interesting, and have more fun. And I've been having the luck of people who've been interesting to bounce these ideas off of, and much more than simply, well, you could just do it like this game. I don't want to do it like Palladium. I don't want to do it like Starfinder. I don't want to do it like Rogue Trader. I don't quite want to do it like West End Games, because I love all these games. Risk is an engine that works. Palladium is a company that made games. But I'm not going to copy their shit. I know that I played these games. I had fun with them, but I know that if I was to do it myself, I wouldn't make the same choices. But I don't want to say I'm going to reinvent the wheel. I'm not. But I know that the wheel I'm inventing is a much different game than other things. I even had one person throw at me the idea of, you could always bring back the Shadowrun's priority system for character creation and not do life path. And I'm like, oh, we are not doing the priority system. Which, Bruce, do you remember the old 3rd edition Shadowrun priority system?
Why would you not want to do that?
I think because actually no, I think I would want to do that because it's hilarious by having, saying, the ABCDE system. Mm-hmm. And that way somebody could play, I'm super strong, I'm super smart, but I'm broke.
Yes.
Honestly, I think that would be a fun system to bring back. It would need some work, but because I don't know, maybe if I keep psionics as I'm some kind of mystical woo-woo, because everybody wants to like, the moment you give anyone the ability to have, look, there's still something out there for the players who want to play Jedi, and I want to, or the Jedi, the space wizards, because honestly, I do like my space wizards wearing bathrobes with laser swords, and let the people who want to play bathrobe wearing space wizards give them the opportunity to play that, and then give some players the option to go, no, I want to be rich, and that's my superpower, rich. And other people just playing down on their luck, overly skilled down on their luck characters. Yeah, actually kind of would be a better system. And yeah, I think I could probably go with that, and it would probably be a hilariously fun game. And it would give players options, giving, slotting in skills, doing cyberware, having fun things, and having connections, and just giving players the ability to go, no, I want to start with a battleship. Okay. And because why not? The universe is big. I played Eve Online. I played Elite Dangerous. I know players will go, and I played the X4 series and Terra Invicta. These players will build and go for the biggest, most powerful things they can get their hands on. And why tell them no? Because let them play the characters they want and build the story they want. And because ultimately, I think the game I'm wanting to build is a game where I give my players a lot of freedom to be who they want to be, rather than being told what they should be. Like, yeah, I know I'm as the GM and the storyteller am going to tell a story. I'm going to. I'm going to go do it. But my players should have the ability to say no. And not realize they're saying no, but if they come up with their own story, their own motivations, and they could breathe that life into it, when I as a GM throw the story at them, when the story inevitably arrives, whether they like it or not, it will hit them, and now they get to be the thing that I shoot for and aim for when I'm playing and when I'm running. I want to see what an actual real reaction on how a person who's caught in a terrible thing that's about to happen would react. I don't want an archetype just saying, I'm the hero, this is the game, this is the problem I'm going to solve with my archetype. And they're just going to go in there and solve the problem. I kind of want somebody to go, oh, hell yeah, hire the drunk one in the corner. Yeah. Hey, if you can, why not? I mean, if you want to play a drunk, washed out, broken space wizard, go ahead. And yeah, I I I understand the idea. There's nothing wrong with having influences. I just don't want to copy whole cloth. The idea that I kind of like I want to get rid of the problems that I have with the games that I that I played. Like I I like Traveler a lot, but the fact that the life path system, you have to be really engaged with the yes and or the no but solution of the, because I know people who go into Traveler going, I'm going to play this really cool character, and then term one get kicked in the nuts, and you're suddenly the character that you were going to play is no longer the character. That's an awesome way to do it, and you end up, after all, the character I'm playing in Traveler is a broken wash. Like, he was in the Navy, he got hurt, and he ended up being in the merchant. He ended up being in the Explorer Corps for the next 12 years, and then he got hurt again, got out of the service, and pushed freight for the next 12 years. He's in his late 40s. He's got two pensions, one for the Navy, one for the Explorer Corps, and then in the third one he got his pension out of being in essence a cargo ship crewman. He's got 3 ship shares in 3 different ships. He's got enough money where he doesn't need to actually work. So he's a really shitty life support engineer, and his secondary job on the ship is walking past the high berth passengers and telling them, "Here's your fucking food for the day," and throwing the food under the door, because he's only got one rank and actually being the not custodian. It's the skill for being pretty much a flight attendant. My job is to walk by and make sure that everyone's still breathing and has their food, and then every once in a while do my other job of just make sure that the air and water work. And that's my character. He's useless. He's got other skills. He's also a bit of a ship mechanic, and he also can fly the shuttle, not in combat. He knows how to fly the shuttle from the ship to the ground. So whenever our passengers go, I want to go to the ground. I want to go to the low port. Why? Why do you want to go to the low port? I want to be on the planet for a while. Why? Okay, fine. I'll drive the shuttle bus. And that's my character. He's kind of crap. And hey, Hungar. And I like that. But the thing is that I kind of want to also have a bit. I think by not doing that, I could actually have the life path system, and not do life path and not have the game kick you in the nuts repeatedly because you want to play a fun character. And well, I guess I'm a broken down cargo tech with two back injuries and a super soaker that tells you take a fucking bath. I it's a fun character. I enjoy playing him, but he's kind of stupid and kind of a use. Everyone else are these cool characters, and I'm just like, I'm just the environmental tech. That's my job. I'm a specialist. I drive the shuttle bus. Do you have anything else that you can do in your life? No. I run the surveillance cameras. I'm also the onboard security guy. You're fucking worthless. I am. But it's fun. Like, I'm retired. I don't give a fuck. And it's like, but that's Social Traveler. This too shall pass. It never fucking. Yes. Oh. God. It's just kind of this ultimate weird thing about saying all of this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I play as a grizzled techie with a penchant for spacing assholes. Yeah, that's also unlocking the ship when the party locks their keys in it because we've done it multiple times. So I also break into other ships because nobody ever changes the password the passcode for their ship doors. That's expensive. Everyone uses the default. Get used to it, and that's how I explain it because my skills aren't that great, and so if I can hack it, you didn't. They weren't trying very hard. If my character could figure it out, it's God damn it, they didn't bother to change the password. That's the running joke is that if I can make it, you didn't try very hard. But I think I want to have a bit more. I don't know. Like I said, I've been thinking about this, and like I said, while I have the high concepts, I'm still working on the low concepts for where the personal skill game is at. Because ultimately, players have to play this, and while I would love to have it be people want to play it on the grand scale 4X super level game, I realize that the number of people who play that scale of game is non-existent, or there's like 100 of us, like 200 of us on a Facebook group who would play that level of game, and that's about it. I know this because I'm part of a Starfire campaign game group, and there's like 280 people, and there's a Starfleet Battles game group who just talk about Starfleet Battles, and there's maybe 2,000 people in the entire group, and most of us are just lurking. So, yeah. And yes.
It's a mimic, Hungar. It's a wonderful, wonderful mimic. The world needs more mimics.
It does.
Hungar, I bought some stuff of yours, and I gotta say thank you. Kai, can I pimp out Hungar's stuff real quick?
Go right ahead.
Oh, dude. So if you don't know Hungar, he's a brother to James, one of our good friends, and he's a quite an interesting sort of guy. But James has one of the funniest fanaticisms out there. James is a fan of OSR style games, and he's a big fan of Hyperborea. One of the new shirts I got is this shirt right here, and I gotta show this off. I don't have it with me, so I have to go to the website. But it's James riding it looks like an Alaskan, like a chow or some Alaskan ski dog or something. And he's got the Hyperborea flag behind him, the standard bearer. And James is there just yoinking off arrows the whole time. This is great.
That is beautiful.
So I got that shirt in that red color. I like it.
I
There's
want to
other
ride a
shirts.
chow to battle.
I gotta let me get the link here for y'all because this
Pomeranian. Okay.
Pomeranian. Okay, yeah, James loves Pomeranians. Pomeranians are just fucking great. Just a little spirited guy. He's got you got the green eggs and Hyperborea. That's a military joke for some of you, and you'll get it. Here's James the Weeb. More fans of Hyperborea. For many months, he wasn't talking about Hyperborea. He was talking about other things. But then he started playing Hyperborea, and now he won't shut up about it. He loves Hyperborea. Here's a picture of Hungar, pieces of a T-Rex in the back, and all the girls enjoying the meat from it. I got this shirt. I was thinking about getting this one here. Elvis Presley. Some good old cheese here. Hungar's good stuff. Also got two of these quality links because some people get it and they see it and they point and laugh. Complete with the phone number. If you like what you see, you can go ahead and just buy. Got Santa Ultramarine. Good for more than just December, though. Of course, I got the Hungar the Starvarian standing over the Maid of Honor, ready to defend her honor. Love it. Old Frazetta stuff. Do you like Elon Musk? Some people still love Elon Musk. And I got to get a replacement for my Hungar 88 shirt because this is one of the best shirts of all time. Pepe the Navigator.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs to have like the guy behind him sweeping up the mess because wherever this little trolley goes, it leaves a slime trail behind it. If you like Hungar and you don't have a subscription to him, there you go. Okay. I'll quit sharing Hungar stuff. Hungar's a great guy.
Yeah,
Him and James, you subscribe to James, watch his stuff in the afternoons. About noon to 4 o'clock, he usually does a live stream during the week. Would recommend. Okay, go ahead, Guy.
oh no, I, I needed to catch my breath. I'm good now.
Oh, I didn't mean to take it away there. I know that sometimes we start talking about things like foot creams and awnings and various primers we use for our grandfather's American Flyer trains whenever we're having to do a recoding of things. But I didn't mean to take your breath away with all this exciting content. I'm
I
so
know.
sorry, sir.
No, I just needed to catch my because honestly, I've been talking for what a solid hour almost.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even mean to pull the ripcord, and you just started going off.
Because there's just so much
Uh,
good, and this thing is, it's so much good that there's better things. Like these are all positive and good things to talk about, rather than just dwelling on some abstract concept or some kind of like thing to be angry over.
I don't like rage bait. That's why I have
Not
with
even,
less than 10,000 subscribers after 7 years or 19 years or whatever it is. I don't care. I gotta say that I want to have the focus of my channel be the things I enjoy, not what the algorithm enjoys.
right.
Um, I do have to say, with that being stated, uh, Chris and I were talking tonight after the game, and he's like, dude, I hate the fact that I can just look up Pathfinder stuff and then I just times it by 5 and I have your system. I'm like, yeah, but I like that. I like that about my game because one, I like the D100 a lot better than a D20. Two, I feel like there's a lot more along with the D100. There's granularity in the system, and the fact that the the Pathfinder stuff, I never after the core rulebook, I never once was like, oh my god, my dick is so hard. I'm bricked up about this. This is too cool. I never was like that with any of their hardcover releases. Pathfinder's hardcover releases after the core rulebook were absolute shit to me, and I hate to say that. There was only the Pathfinder Unchained book that I thought was worth a shit because it actually took the game in a different direction than just what 3.5 had done, and everything else that Paizo published was just a rewriting of 3.5. Which okay, if you're going to make a complete 3.5 system, that's what you got to do, I guess. But I just did not need a 3.5 revisionist upgrade for my same sad D20 game. And I'm redoing it to D100, which I appreciate much more. And Chris is like, I just rather would play either Pathfinder or make your game so fucking dissimilar from it, it feels like Palladium. And I'm like, I could see that being fair, but I like my system the way it is. I also haven't had a chance to write on it for 2 months because I'm living with friends. I don't have access to connect things and do stuff at all times, sharing resources, space, etc. And so I haven't really done a whole lot in the 2 months I've been here, except for paint miniatures and getting other stuff printed off and looking at that, printing it, painting it, getting new minis painted up. That's it, because we only have like one TV. That's all we got, and I'm not interested in changing that. I'll be moving out anyway within like 2 weeks, and I just once I do, then I'll start working back on my stuff again, being involved with live streams with James and Hungar and all the group, just enjoying myself basically, and doing the things that I used to find myself enjoying because I do miss my old activities. I was enjoying my life until my wife started going absolute batshit crazy and doing every drug she could find. I think that's something I need to state. My life was normal up until October, and then I kind of started. Why is this going on? Why is she carrying a shotgun around during my live stream? You know, and that happened on one of my live streams where I'm like, "Hey, honey, what are you doing?" She's like, "Well, this belongs up here." I'm like, "No, we don't need that in the front room." No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good. Uh, and it got out of hand. It got out of control for a bit. Moved out. got my life back under control once I started living with friends who understood me, and they didn't have a value of like narcotics or alternative substances in their brains, just causing everything to go erupt and awry. Unlike my wife, who, when I went by there the other day to collect my shipment of coffee that was deposited there erroneously by our coffee provider, she had put some garbage outside, which used to be furniture, inside the home, and she decided that she would like start painting it or spray painting it or doing stuff with her crafting stuff. And one of the tables had this big long handwritten note to me of how bad of a person I am. And I thought, oh, that's sweet. She at least thought, try to explain herself why she's doing all this. And it didn't make a lick of sense, but I'm at fault. And I'm glad to know that you can predict this shit from a mile and a half away. Yeah, I'm the problem. I'm the one that, you could 24/7 do your reliable urinalysis with, and no illicit substances except for alcohol will show up in my system.
Yep.
The problem. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, and I didn't mean to drag the show down any, but I just,
Oh gosh, no, it's okay.
yeah, keeping it realistic here.
I know when I was playing around with trying to redo my version of Pathfinder /3.5, I was running into a similar problem that I'm running into with my sci-fi game, is that I wanted more options, but the thing is I was aiming my game for a and for more of a Victorian steampunk era, and wanting to have a bit more. I wanted to embrace more of the, I don't want to say the stupid, but the more of the over the top, because I realized that the game is not grounded. D&D is not a grounded game, and trying to run it as a pretty grounded game just doesn't work. And so trying to run it with the idea that I want to have magic be exciting, because I'm not letting myself be trapped in the idea that it has to be the way that Gary Gygax envisioned it in the 70s. So trying to reimagine how the magic works. Not that it's wrong, it's just that it's not it's not where fantasy and where things have been progressing in a different direction. So I was trying to embrace where I was kind of wanting to aim it for. I wanted magic to be more flexible, more not to say modern, but not the way that it's been. So I know that, but that took a lot of that was a lot of rewriting that, unfortunately, different computer and different hard drive failures and different losses have taken most of that away from me. And also, as new people come in and they want to play, well, they don't want to it's easy to do the refit that you've done, because it's an understandable refit that you can look at it at a different document, multiply by 5, and get and know it's roughly where it should be, and that's perfectly fine, and I love that. But I know that as I was trying to pull in other, because I think the one thing that I've been hunting for a couple decades now is the idea that I like a limited framework, but I want the ability to modify the classes while you play. So it's not just simply that if you're willing to make sacrifices or do other things, that you should be rewarded, or with chances to, where you're trading progression for more ability, for new abilities or different abilities or special abilities and other things that have limits. But I also realized that the more I used that, the more I did it, it needed a lot of work, and ultimately, I think when we found the spheres of power rules, those rules are actually pretty solid. I I don't know if I would fully embrace them, but that is actually kind of. Oh, 1 second. I know it's. I have a copy of it. 1 second.
You're good.
Okay. This is probably the worst, best role playing game I've ever purchased. Besem D20. I like Besem because it allows you to do, God, anything. There's only two things.
Can you do Cowboy Bebop in it?
Oh, I can do Bebop. I can do Macross. I can do a lot with it. But then again, that's because I like Besem. It was a fantastic game when I was. It was a really good game when it was the original copy I bought back in '97, the first edition rules, when it was still tiny. But it was a flexible, easy game that was fat. What was that?
Go ahead.
It was a flexible, easy game that was very capable. That if you had limitations, at least on some controls at GM, you could make it do anything you wanted. And the second edition did it, improved it. And while Besem D20 is kind of crap as a game, it allowed a bridge that allowed me to pull different things in. And suddenly I was able to figure out how to, now I can offer character customization because it offered you ways of buying more skills, buying extra feats, doing other things, trading and slowing down. It offered the one thing that I think D&D really kind of need, like, for at least for me, for Pathfinder and D&D, that I could get rid of, which was the idea that to get rid of the base attack progression system and the base because for years now, you should, if you've been listening to this, you know that I love active defense. I like parries and dodges and blocks, and
yeah, I'm wanting to bring something like that into my game.
But it is a fundamental change to the game.
I think I want to do like passive at first, and if you're a person that has like a particular skill with your weapon, after you hit like a plus 30% to hit, you start really learning a lot easier how to do defenses and such. Or if you actively use a shield and you have like 2-weapon fighting and shield bash, like once every 10 seconds, you can literally use your shield to but intercept somebody's oncoming weapon. Now, if they have Sunder, things can get interesting, but it's an idea.
Yeah. Oh, and Veterans of the Second Wars is a hilariously great thing. I wish they would have fixed psionics, but it's never been very well done, and I hate the idea that it's just magic in a green flavor rather than magic in a purple flavor or magic in a blue flavor. Sorry, psionics is usually a violet. They always portray warlocks in kind of a purple. Wizardry is always blue, and green is usually druidic magic, and white or black is usually divine. It's like it's color. It's just magic with color coding. But the Besem D20 introduced the idea of attack and defense being skills, like actual skills, and I'm like, oh, so they can actually progress and increase at the rate of a skill check. Yes. Boom. Suddenly I had the tools that for a while I was actually running in Pathfinder a Ghost in the Shell game.
Okay.
Players, it was a full-on Appleseed Ghost in the Shell cyberpunk dystopia role-playing game set set with the backdrop of it being a steampunk game, and I had I had flying power armor, I had equipment, I had because I transitioned to armor, I had block dodge parry, and the um and I had melee and range attacks. So there was 5 new skills. Oh no! And everyone like everyone got everyone people are skilled characters. I upped the fighter skill rank. Like everyone's skill ranks increased by 3. So I everyone in the game had 3 extra skill ranks a level because you're going to probably be good at one of the at least one of the 3 defense skills, and you're going to be good at least one of the 3 attack skills. So go at it. Like if you want to be a defense master where your entire thing is block deflect, and you're not that great on offense, so you're just the wall, go right ahead. But it allowed me to shift armor over into being more actual armor. It allowed me a more fluid, dynamic system, which also went into how I run vehicles, how I'm, where people are learning skills and abilities to better use their armor to increase. Because it was a cool way of saying you could either block, deflect, block, deflect, reflect, take and learn abilities to parry, counterattack, or just know how to. You're going to get hit. Like one of the abilities I came with I gave my fighter players was the ability of you're going to get hit. There's nothing you can do to stop it, but you know how to turn your armor, to increase its damage reduction. So that way, you're using your defense skill to increase the DR of your armor, shield plus armor. So that way, you take less. When the ogre hits you, you're able to you're adding that, a margin of your protective ability into that ability to just soak the hit, so you can just tank it. Because I wanted my players to be able to sit there and soak hits if they wanted to. It created some really cool scenes where players who figured out how to use the system go, okay, I can either dodge it entirely, make sure I don't do it, or, oh shit, they're going to hit me no matter what I do. I'm going to just do this, and I'm going to make it so that way the hit doesn't hurt. And suddenly, I didn't need to have to inflate my players' hit point totals. Suddenly, 100 hit points becomes not so bad when you're able to reduce a 60-point hit down to 20 or 30 points of damage. Suddenly, the healer doesn't need to have a supercharged healing spell when that critical hit is only did 30 points damage. So now they could keep up with the healing. So the healer was able to function better. They didn't feel so overwhelmed. You didn't have to depend on the best crowd control is to kill them. You could actually have a better dynamic and therefore I can give feats where to one of my players who was a sniper, an archer playing a sniper character, he had the ability to, okay, I can ignore 25, 30 point, based on my, I can choose to reduce my to hit modifier to get more armor penetration. So that way, suddenly I can hit the guy who's heavily armored in a weak spot, and I can bypass some of their armor and give them give them actual do some real damage rather than having to go, the only way you can actually keep up with combat is to do 300 points damage in a single round. And now I didn't need to have my villains have 400 hit points to be able to survive 3 rounds of combat. Now the armor actually mattered because they were fighting. So players started to fight smart. Spells started to become more interesting because I was also working with them. Suddenly now when they're buying armor, they're looking at what's the DR and what other abilities can I get for the armor? because I was piecing out what the under armor was, what the armor was made out of mattered. What was the DR that it gave? Does it have ballistic cloth underneath of it? Does it have this? Does it have this channeling where it reduces bludgeoning damage or reduces piercing damage or slashing damage? Does it have? Is it grounded so it reduces elemental damage? It's got a reinforcement grid on it. Does it have? Suddenly, I was able to add new bits and things, so that way armor becomes way more interesting. And now suddenly, it isn't just simply a +5 plate suit of full plate mail, and that's the only thing you can do. And now you have to go buy a cloak. Is the only way you're going to get better, or a ring. Now players are sitting here going, okay, I want to have the the Ceram steel enhancement with the reinforced backing with ballistic cloth, and I want to put it with the underlying layer of armor of this. And suddenly they could describe what they had better, and it was a modular system. Weapons were doing the same thing. Suddenly it became a lot more of a dynamic system. But I ran into the problem of, it was cool for that group. The next group that came in didn't embrace it to the same level that the previous group did. I tried to explain it, explain what I could do, and it didn't get embraced. So we reverted back to the old rules. And I've been depressed because every once in a while I get a player who goes, he's like, it would be cool if we did it like we did that old time in the old days. Yeah, that would be really cool. But somebody else who's going to come in whenever you get your rules nailed down, write them down and make sure it's in the document the players get, so that way it's not a house rule anymore. It's codified. So if you do, however you implement your way of doing active defense, make sure it's codified in the rules, and make sure that when you get there, it's not just having to be explained in a crappy Word document you wrote in 2006, and when you still had a printer, and you no longer have a printer, so you can't print anything out, and you lost all your files, and now you have this one sheet of paper that explains this crap to somebody, and you're hoping that the bad dialogue that you wrote 20 years ago can be understood by the people who are reading it today. And that's where I'm at. So, but I also don't plan on ever writing that fantasy game book, because that's not going to be my RPG I want to write. Or maybe I will. I don't know.
So, I gotta ask. I think the first thing for the active defense, I think that actually would be something that would be more of a priority than a secondary thing. And the reason why I say that is that, like, when you're first learning how to fight, like, most of the time your boss or your mentor is showing you how to hold a weapon and make sure that you are able to use it and not get hurt too badly, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably want to add an option for blocking, or using an offhand weapon to help block. Just, have the negatives on there.
Yeah. You should.
Sorry.
No. Because the more survivable you make your players without having to resort to hit points, the less you have to resort on upping the damage and upping the hit point totals. That really is what it comes down to. Is the more ways you have a way to mitigate, the less you require the base. So
I've solved the fact that people feel that D&D is as a game that has no end, because the higher level you get, the harder it is to kill the players off. And I've gotten rid of that. I've made dice explode at maximum result, which they just keep rolling until they stop rolling their maximum. And then magic. Magic is a motherfucker because, like, if you got like a what would normally be called like a +3 weapon in a normal game, boring as shit.
Yeah,
I actually those are +15 swords in my world because
yeah,
instead of a +3 to hit, now it's +15 to hit for your percentile based weapon. And if it's normally quote unquote a +3, then whatever the value of the damage is, it's got an additional three of that. So say you're using a +3 short sword in the game, convert it to my game. Okay, now it's a +15 to hit magically, and you're doing 4 dice 6 damage plus whatever strength bonus you got. So exploding dice, magic does extra dice damage. I love it
yeah,
because it's a quicker campaign, it's a quicker combat. You have a lot more variety of what could happen, and players fearfully don't really try to go into combat much. They try to have numbers on their side. They try to have uh, a lot of tactical acumen before they even start getting into those bad situations. They don't want to be on the losing side because things go south real quick when the dice can explode, and then whenever you have magic weapons that just do tremendously more damage than what like they would in a normal campaign, the players are rightfully so worried and trying to stack the deck in their favor, which I like. I love it. Kai, you like 4X games, don't you?
yeah. That's my bread and butter, actually.
Did you ever play Elemental?
Not as much as I probably. Let me see if I can get my.
Years ago, they had a game series called Elemental, and the second one was called Fallen Enchantress, and the third was called The War of the Sorcerer King, or something like that. And this was, yeah, Sorcerer King, Fallen Enchantments, and Elemental War of Magic. So they combined these three games into a super game, and now it's in early access. And I'm digging this. I've got it on my Steam account. Played about 4 hours, less than 4 hours so far. But you get these really cool little maps. You pick your character, which one you want to be before the start of the game. Lots of equipment options, and you get magic items as you go through the game. So you got to equip those and learn how to use those and such. It's not a hard game.
I think
Really
I got on my
not.
wish list of like because one of the reviewers I follow was talking about it.
Yeah.
I just haven't got around to buying it yet. Should I?
Should you buy this?
Yeah.
I would, if I were you. If you like 4X, I would go for it. 'Cause there's a lot of content they're going to be piling into one game. They have tech trees and feat trees and such. Little bitty, what do you call that? Cinematics. I love just how the game looks. It feels like a great game. Lots of spells. Lots and lots of spells. And that's the other part about it. It's really never the same game the same time you play it. It's it's very rough on you. If you got the $40, would recommend.
All right. I just gotta go find it. That's all. Somewhere in my list. Okay, there it is.
Okay. Good deal.
It took a second to find it in the list. Yeah, it's on my wish list. I'll get.
Are you feeling okay? You look like you're getting a little tired. No offense.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Also, I also had the sleep of not enough. So, but I'm okay.
All right.
Just tired. That's all.
I
But
don't want to run you
tired.
to the point where I usually am at, where I'm
No, I
falling
haven't shut.
asleep.
I haven't turned into a potato yet.
I just
Okay.
I don't want to push you to the point where I usually go, where I'm snoring happily in the chair of some other man's computer center.
It's all right. No, I'm fine. I just gotta be like, all right, I'm good. Just not firing on all the as good as I should be. So
Life is good.
yeah, it
Utilities
is.
are on. They're going to be checking out my new place here soon. Moving in there. Can't complain.
No,
Uh-oh.
just
I
a few
think
things are they're slowing it up.
Cracking Gamer joins us.
Yeah, I'd have joined you sooner, but I wanted to get my dinner in. I actually had to wait for my painkillers to kick in. After all the fun from the game wore off, my body reminded me I'd been forgetting to take them all day.
I think we've both been there.
Oh yeah,
Yes, sir. I've been there plenty of times. How you doing today?
Yeah,
Have you been doing pretty good, Dave?
I've recently been introduced to the wonders of Steam. I haven't bought anything from it yet, but the games I can find through it, like there's a game I really want to play, but it's definitely a game I'd have to play with somebody. Well, there's two, a lot of them like that, but two of the big ones. One that's like, I don't know if Khy may or may not know it since he knows this. I know he likes factory stuff. It's just Factorio.
Oh, so are you just starting Factorio?
I've got the demo currently. I was going to play with that, see how I felt about playing it, and if I liked it, I was going to purchase it. But what I played with it so far, I liked it. Definitely will have to get used to the controls because it's the style that immediately makes me think point and click. So I got to get used to actual controls. But other than that, yeah, I'm actually genuinely interested in.
Guy, isn't that
I
one of the games you played the most?
I might have a lot of hours invested in that game. Currently, I'm 24 hours away from 12,000 hours invested in that. I am one full day away from 12,000 hours.
That's only 12 hours. That's only really 24 hours, man. I mean, you should be able to make it through 24 hours of gaming on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 3 8-hour sessions on. I mean, right now I'm taking a break from Factorio, but yeah, no, it's a game where I would say watch guides, but don't learn from failure and starting over. The game is a wonderfully fantastic mess of a game, and it's gotten better over the years of development, and it is a beautiful beautiful game of never be afraid to take the whole thing apart and start over. And
Oh yeah. Well, I've watched specifically in this case yeah, it is this guy Marcus something pants.
there's a
He
lot
he
of people. Yeah,
he masquerades around. He shows his face on his live stream, but his character is a frog, a
I know
technicolor
him.
frog.
He's crazy. He's a good one.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
I've
good.
watched his. Go ahead.
There's a lot of really good people out there who will try to tell you, you know, the proper way of doing anything, and the proper way to doing anything is the way you're doing it, but your way is wrong. I guarantee it, because everyone's wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say one of his favorite things to say, and another one I watch, Reggie. They almost always say the same exact thing whenever they're doing these type of games. Spend 2 or 3 hours building the first version of it. Realize you screwed that up completely. Tear it apart and do it again, and hope that you did it right the second time.
No, you didn't. Yeah, and you'll never do it because because the thing about the game is that you build what you think you need, and then you realize that you need to make it about 4 times bigger, but you don't have the resources to get to 4 times bigger. So you're building it in stages, and then you're disassembling, rebuilding, re-optimizing. I have a notepad and a pencil because I know you could just use a calculator, but there's always the need. Yeah, I know. 10 years of 10 years of play, 16 months of my life has been dedicated over the past decade. So yeah, over a year of my life has been dedicated for the course of a decade. So 1/10 of a decade has been spent playing Factorio. It is a beautiful game, and I would say, I can't tell you how to play it, how you're going to play it, because 16 and a half months played that game. I know, and I restarted so many times, and Space Age has been a complete shock. I play with mods that are way too fucking bonkers, and really, I shouldn't play them, but I'm addicted to these mods. And trains are fun. The new fluid system is it's better than what it used to be. It's way better.
From what I've seen from both Reggie and a couple other people who play Factorio, the space mod is more of a quality of life mod.
It is. Space is amazing until you get to the first. Every planet sucks. Do not all planets suck, but you have to go there, and just go out there and.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Set a goal, and start building to that goal. Realize that the goal that you set was not nearly high enough, and then continue to.
I think Marcus, Marcus here said it best when he went to one of the, I think it was a moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time we even remembered all the supplies, the things we forgot last time, except we forgot one teeny tiny, insignificant little detail. The melange only grows on planets with biters, and this planet has a lot of biters, and you just watch them get massacred because they didn't bring nearly the firepower to take care of it.
No, you don't.
There's always something you forget. That is something I have seen every single time anybody plays, especially planet hopping simulators with factory building. You inevitably forget something.
Oh yeah.
Even if you got all the supplies, great. You are about to get massacred. Fuck.
Guaranteed, it happens. And the thing is that there's no shame in hitting the restart button and starting a new world. And I think when Space Age hit and I had to finally stop playing all my old worlds, I think I had something around I think I had restarted 37 times.
What game was that?
What was that?
What game was that?
Factorio.
Jesus H.
I had started the entire factory over 37 times. Brand new entire worlds, just total new plays. Abandoned months and months and months of, because some of those restarts were major quality of life update happens where they changed some things, because I bought the game when it launched in beta, its original beta, and the game was way different than it is now. And they would improve things. And well, everything that I had before was now broken. Start over. Well, you could just start over, and then relearn the new system. Like when they changed how nuclear reactors worked, start over. When they changed how certain things, how the world spawned, start over. Man, I ran out of resources. Things are going wrong. Start over. And
As someone who hates starting over, I'll have to completely agree with you on that one. It's like, let's see here. Do I want to completely redesign everything on this fucking planet because I have to change out this one system now, or should I just start over?
And do it right the first time.
Uh-huh.
And I do it wrong every time. And
Man,
you will discover the pain of green circuits. You'll never have enough of them. And then red circuits, which you'll have plenty of, and trying to find wood, trying to find this thing, and then you'll eventually find that God, you need wood isn't like you're clear cutting entire forests just so that way you can keep your circuit breakers circuits being made. So you end up going, you know what I need? I need a mod pack that gives me that gives me the ability to grow wood, so I don't need to cut down trees anymore. And now you've started the path towards modding. Because, man, the factory must grow because you must get more ore. Well, shoot. Now I've got trains that are going 100 miles in one direction. I don't want to lay down more track. I'm going to go buy an auto track. I'm going to go find an auto track laying mod. Now you get to learn the wonders of the Jarl program, which some people have modded, which allows you to just get in a train, load the cars up with power poles, lights, and track, and then set off in a direction. And the train auto plows, auto chops down all the trees and rocks in the way, and lays down track as it goes. So as long as you got fuel, track. And don't worry, you can burn trees as fuel. Track, lights, and poles. You can now just drive a train out to the middle of nowhere, and then turn it around and come back. And now you've got, and now you've discovered this. Well, shoot, I'm playing on a death world. I need more. I need more of everything. Copper and iron are not in sufficient quantity. I need more coal. Man, I wish oil was producing at a faster rate. And now you get to start figuring out optimization. And that little autistic section in my brain kicks in and goes, math. I must figure out throughput rates. And now you're going, oh shit, these belts aren't fast enough. I need faster belts. Oh shoot, I need belt saturation. My belts aren't balanced. Oh shit. And now you're starting to ask yourself, is this actually sane? The answer is no, it's not. So you're now upgrading from gray belts to yellow belts to red belts to blue belts to purple, and now you're looking for new mods. So I go, my belts aren't going fast enough. I needed more belts, and now you're downloading mods that give you even more belts that now can have throughputs of 100 items a second. And now you're trying to figure out.
Anybody who tried to take an item off of it? No, then your belts aren't fast enough. Can they? Yes, then your belts still aren't fast enough.
At that point, you're looking at and now you're trying to and now you're looking for at a mod pack that's called loaders, because belt inserters aren't fast enough. So you're looking at loaders. Loaders now are now loading the entire belt as fast as it goes into the loader per the rating. So therefore, you're now looking at, oh shoot, now I have a speed 100 loader, which is throwing in there now. Like that, mod packs but loaders are extremely expensive. But hey, you're loading up train cars and you're unloading train cars via loaders. Boy, that's fantastic. But that's not fast enough. So you're now looking at drones. and drones will kill your computer. Do not use drones. Drones are your friend. Drones are the greatest thing in the entire universe. Drones kill computers because drones are flexible. Because that's the power of the drone, is that they can do 100 things. Belts can only do one, maybe two, unless you're one of those disgusting sushi belt users. Sushi belt users are abominations and shouldn't be allowed to play. They are disgusting people. But some people use sushi belts. I do not. I detest them.
Yeah, I'm sure if we look hard enough somewhere, we'll find a Bob the Builder.
Ugh.
Do you understand that
It's
reference?
11:10 right now, and I'm just kind of looking over some things. I'm not really wanting to paint that much more, but I will be here tomorrow. Me and Janet are reviewing a movie called For a Few Dollars More, Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef. 12:30 is when we open up the balcony and start watching it. About 2:30 or 3 o'clock is when we start doing the review.
Sounds like a good movie.
You've seen it before, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't disappoint me like that. That's a classic. I've never seen it all the way through. I've seen it on TV and cable and shit. Just haven't watched it from start to finish.
Yeah, but if we really watch it all the way through when it's on TV or cable,
A lot of TV watching.
I'm referring to what they cut out of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just gotta sit down and watch it. That's all.
Anyway, I could let Khy and David go on here, but I'm not feeling like 100% like, yeah, we're going till 1 a.m. No, not feeling like that this week.
No.
We'll be back here in 2 weeks to talk about various things, various complaints and such. I really hope all of you have a safe and fantastic week. Please have a fantastic day.
I can get some sleep finally. Hooray!
I need sleep. I'm